Brother Frank. It's all about the women today. And I need this space clear. This space right here, because Mr. Murphy is video filming this for us. Mr. Murphy and Miss Murphy, Joanne and Kevin, they have been filming the southeast side for many years, and they're very good friends of ours. And I want to thank every woman who participated. I wanted to wait till they all came in, but there's enough here for them. And I want to say thank you so very much, girls, women, for participating in this show for us. And I want to say thank everyone for coming. And I want to introduce Joanne.
Wow, all right. My background is primarily in the history of the area. And this space and this block in particular are significant to me. And as I look around here, aside from Kevin and myself, I don't see too many gray hairs.
We hide them well.
But when I was in grade school, this was Ernie's ice cream parlor. And this is where we hung out after school. Boys sat over there, girls sat over here, and Ernie ran the place. I never knew Ernie had a last name until many years after someone mentioned the Rossi family living here, and I said, no, that's Ernie's place. And they assured me that it was Ernie Rossi, so that was okay. But we would spend our afternoons here until Ernie figured it was, time to send us home for dinner, and so he would very politely show us to the door. When we were in high school, we were across the street at Duke's 101 Club, which was really pizza heaven. And it's Pucci's now, and it's still there. But there's another space that I want to talk about too. But the point in regard to those two places is that in this area, they were the gathering spaces. There was another one that you probably don't know, because I think it disappeared when I was about 6. There was a very small Art Deco building that was right at the corner where the tank is now. You know where the tank is, right? Okay. Well, that building was the host house for the 1933 Chicago Century of Progress. And it was there to help people who were wayfarers coming up US 12, 20, 41, going downtown to see that event. So the people gathered there to find out what the Century of Progress would have to offer and how to get there. So, 1, 2, 3 significant gathering places. And now, it's under the bridge. This is the significant gathering place. And thank you, Roman, Maria, and all the other people who've made this possible, because this has been fantastic. There's something new that's coming up also that will probably take the same route up 12, 20, 41 if it doesn't take the Burnham Greenway, and that is the proposed Calumet National Heritage Corridor. It's not quite national park status, but it is a proposal that has to go through Congress. It's very grassroots, and if it works as many people hope it will bring many more visitors to this area, and this will enhance this gathering place. And this is just waiting for them, right? And Roman, I know, has been involved in a lot of the meetings and in relation to it. Okay, so here we are at this marvelous gathering place. We have artwork from easily 20 different women artists, and they work with all kinds of phenomenal materials, from bread, right, to cake, right, and a number of more traditional materials. Okay, what I'd like to do is to introduce everybody kind of quickly, so if we could have a hand up when I call the artist's name, they'll get an idea of the artist, and we'll sort of identify where their art is in the place. Guess who's first, Luz?
I'm gonna say loose.
Luz, okay, yeah. Luz, Olivier, Idina. Right
There
there.
it is. Five pieces right
And
here.
if you weren't sure what she looked like, then you would look at that series right there, right? Okay, Luz. Is Rosie Torres.
She's in New Mexico.
Okay, and her work is
Right here.
right here? Oh, wow, okay. Oh. Wow, that almost looks like 100th in Indianapolis, doesn't it, if you misread it? Okay, I'm retired. Roby Neither was here the other day. If you could take a look at the trumpeter, the one with the butterfly, and the gravestone, which is fantastic. Okay, that's those are illustrations of her work. Claudia Charo. And her work is posted.
Nice lady when she came in there, yeah. Lady who lost her head. She went crazy.
Okay, Maria Villarreal.
I have three pieces. That's my newest piece. That's my painting over there, the circular one, and the quilt of Miss Daly is my work.
And what is the circular one called?
The Pisces in my world.
And who could that be?
He's an astrologer. My buddy. Actually, that is my entire family. If you understand the meaning, I am a moon child, and the 3 silver are my children, and on each pin is 8 grandchildren and 7 great-grands. My family.
And Jenny Mata?
Sandy.
Jenny, Jenny, want to hold up some of the work?
Oh, well, actually it's on the wall over here, and then I have magnets as well.
There, okay, I'm sorry.
This is the bread art.
Where's that?
Okay.
Right there, bread art.
Oh, I saw the small pieces. I didn't know.
That's all made out of bread. Everything that's sticking out is made out of bread.
Things, little figures they make out of bread?
Exactly. Figures.
Okay, Evelyn Davis Frazier.
Here I am. The blue pieces are all on canvas, and my nickname in college was Hot Blue. I did a whole series. I did a whole series of blue paintings, and this is Hathor was a goddess of women. That is the Nubian name. Now, if you want to look her up, her Greek name would be Hathor, Hathor, Hathor. But after I started researching and everything, I found out the Nubian name, of course, of me being Nubian. So that is Hathor, and turquoise was mined for her tomb area, for her temple area. She's known, if you're looking at hieroglyphics in the papyrus rolls, the turquoise signifies Hathor, or Hathor.
Wow, fantastic. Fantastic. So this is not exactly hot blue, is the best I could do.
Okay.
I thought about blue when we came in to take a look. Blue is quite popular here. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Mary Young.
Right here.
Ah, okay.
That piece you really can't see, but as you walk in the door, it welcomes you to come
You
into
can
the space.
see it when you come in, yes, yes.
It's an indigo bat-dyed piece on linen, and it was done with 2 different techniques. One is using Japanese shibori resist, which you see on the border, and then in the middle of the piece is an African symbol from Ghana, West Africa, which is Sankofa, and it means reaching back in order to move forward.
Oh, ideal. Oh, perfect, perfect.
Roby just walked in.
Roby just walked in. Roby, can you raise your hand?
Oh, Roby, Roby, come on, come on.
Lucky you get a hand right away.
Roby, we're going down the list of artists, and if you'd like to say something about your pieces, come on.
Sorry, I'm waiting.
No, you're right on time.
I have the 3 pieces over there. The guy with the
playing the instrument, okay, the trumpet. And this was done, I took pictures of the two, that's the same person, but different poses. And then I manipulated and brought those two guys together, the two musicians. And the one underneath is the lady I call My Look. And she's just looking at a butterfly. And this was the actual person that I took. She was out in the park. And I manipulated it in Photoshop. And I brought in special brushes effects. Okay, the third one is the cemetery. Yeah. Every now and then I like to go to the cemetery and I'll take a look around. See what I see. So I manipulated and I brought in some smoke. Smoke saying, you know, like
Ghost.
yeah, something's going on with the acoustic. You know, like it's moving, and then I brought smoke from it on down underneath there. Coming up.
Thank you. Thank you. Is Patty here? Patty the Lion? Patty the Lion?
Patty DeLeon. Patty DeLeon will probably come in later. She's a wife of the director, Rome DeLeon. And this is her work, and she calls this Petals on Route 1 because she's a north side post person. And so she takes her camera and shoots all these beautiful, they're north side flowers. So it's Petals on Route 1. Question?
I like the bug.
Yes. Yeah, cool.
Bug on route one.
They are out.
There's a bug in there.
Rochelle Royster?
Rochelle's not here at the moment. Rochelle her work is on the other side of the wall. It's a blue one, and also a piece on this side. It's a female with a baby in there. It's very beautiful, but it's on that side when you walk in.
Right, something to do with skullduggery.
Oh, that's the blue one.
Same shows or something like that, okay. Katerina Otero?
Katerina is a young artist, came from Sky Art. Her work is over here. She's a busy young woman in college, and I don't know why she's not here.
Okay.
We actually have one of her pieces, a big one, but it's a giant dragon about this big, but we just don't have nowhere to show it. That's
Okay, and Patricia Divine Reed? Yeah, right there.
Thank you. I have three pieces of the photo image community. This one is a woman in the Humboldt Park neighborhood. She's in her 90s. She has lived there since the 1950s. And she, as houses got torn down on her block, she made gardens next to her house on both sides, which she engages the community in. One has peach grove, and so she invites the neighbors to come in and pick peaches in the fall, and the kids to come in and help garden and so forth. And she's also still in her 90s engaged in the local school council down the street from her house and so on. So, and the two paintings back here, one is of a woman who very much involved in lifting youth up and challenging them, and also working on the health. These are both about women in Inglewood, and one is engaged in making a healthy neighborhood, fighting lead poisoning and other forms of poor health, and building gardens also. So there's a big community garden which many young people and adults have gotten engaged in, and so that's shown behind her image. And the other one is of a woman who works with young people. She believes nothing is impossible for young people. And our communities are held together by the people who live there, not by the city of Chicago or any foundations and so forth, but it's the people who sustain them and lift them up and raise the children and so forth. So it's honoring those women.
Okay, I see Rosalba is already over there with her artwork. Rosalba Zavala.
If I try to explain you a little bit of what I did with everything, it's gonna take forever. I just call this one the Spring Revival, just to celebrate the new season that we're having and life, sun, flowers, and people just getting so happy after such a long winter time. I thank all of you for coming, and thank you, Maria and Roma, for making this event possible for all of us to get to see our community and for it to come this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Well, actually, this one I go for Chloe.
Rosalba, thank you.
And Chloe means goddess of nature.
I love it.
So,
Even though my dad
okay,
is little. Yes.
Chloe, come here.
Raise your
Hey,
hand.
oh.
She does not like to wear dresses, so I made her dress.
one day soon, she'll learn.
Thank you. Okay, someone named Steph Skills.
Steph Skills is this is her work. She's a graffiti artist and also an instructor with Chicago Public Parks, and she's also a ceramic artist. She's up north. She couldn't make it tonight, but this is her work.
She's also a member of X-Men.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Dave Ed should know about that, right? Okay. The X-Men. Lisa Tasman. Who? Lisa Tasman?
Lisa
Oh,
Tasman.
me. Lisa, okay.
My work is a little furniture in the back.
Yeah, furniture.
She thought I did a series of about 100 pieces of miniature furniture out of playing cards.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're all
my.
yeah.
I did, yeah, I have.
She also is an artist from Sky Art.
Okay, Sarah
Sarah Galvan is the artist, a young artist from Sky Art. She created that jewelry right there. She had to leave early with her family.
she was here
She
earlier.
left. She left. She was here earlier, but she left.
Okay, the jewelry.
Yes, on the wall. She wanted to show something.
Another member of Sky Art.
Yes, yes. Okay, and I noticed that there was a piece by Natalie Galindo.
Natalie Galindo is over there between the two horses, and she's not here tonight.
Okay, but it's a beautiful piece, a lamp with a Frida Kahlo drawing on it. It's really beautiful. And Teresa O'Brien, Teresa O'Brien,
Teresa here?
Tressa, are
her
you still
work
here?
is here, right?
Well, her work is right there. I
She
don't
was
know.
just here.
She was here earlier, but I think she had another engagement.
Wow.
And,
Which piece is there?
and
Right.
Oh, Sarah, she's here. Sarah Ward.
sorry, Sarah.
Yeah,
Sarah's
Ward.
work is in the, as you come in, it's right there.
It's of Cabrini Green. I'm doing a series of all the housing projects that are gone now.
Wow.
Sarah also is our director of Sky Art. And also, I am also an artist from Sky Art. So
Would
she's a
everybody
beautiful
connected with
person
Sky
who
Art
believes-
please raise their
She
hand?
believes in
Sky Art.
Right.
South Chicago.
Connected
Sky
with
Art.
Sky Art.
Yeah, not exactly, not exactly. We've got two exhibits. How many of you noticed the cakes?
Yes. Those are from ASM artists. Her name is Gloria Hafer, and she teaches young artists to do this kind of work. And so they are cakes from China, Cuba, India, and Mexico. So they're very delicate, but they're really cool.
And there was one other art exhibit from Washington.
Oh, this miniature exhibit of all these miniature are memories of something that they had
Memory
in
of
their
the
life.
past?
Memories of the past. And this is from a CAPE organization is working in Washington High School, trying to bring in parents with their children, trying to bring in art to parents. So this is their first exhibit, and they also have little memory of what they thought of their
Is there
work.
anybody here from Cape?
And I don't know, is anyone here from CAPE? No.
No, there was somebody here earlier that said something, but not tonight.
Okay, well, it sounds like an exciting program. Okay, so that's the introduction to the artists, and we hope that they all hang around for a while. Meanwhile, have someone to introduce to you. Okay. Want to introduce? Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Karina Bermejo goes way back to, goes way back when we were starting stuff in the arts here. And she supported the arts. She's a lifelong member of the area and does an awful lot to social service agencies to keep this neighborhood going. And it's really my pleasure to introduce you. I remember how we worked together a long time ago, and most of the people are still in this room and grateful to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know where to begin because Maria asked me to talk a little bit about myself, which I really didn't want to do, but I'm going ahead and oblige. I am probably a closet artist, and you all, I live vicariously through everything that you do. You're absolutely amazing. You bring to life what I think most of us who are closet artists don't know how to do so well, which is give a voice to what you're feeling. And many of us do that in different ways. My husband is a singer, is probably what attracted to me, so he has his voice, right? You all as artists have your own voice. You paint with your voice as the canvas and your brush. And I decided to become an attorney. So I am usually the voice of those who are the voiceless. I am I'm an immigrant who was brought to this country for a better life, like many of you. And if it weren't for the struggles of my parents, I would not be here today. And if it weren't for this community, I wouldn't be who I am. I want to tell you a little bit about, is anyone here familiar with Metropolitan Family Services down the street? So I have the pleasure of being its EVP and General Counsel. So while I'm from the community, I'm in a downtown office. And oftentimes when we're discussing about the needs of our clients, it's simple for me to think about because it's really what were my needs as a kid? What were my needs for my parents? What are the needs of the community? It's also very familiar. So as I think about what this community means, how art relates to my life, it is about the voice. It boils down for this awesome dream of having the American dream. And to tell you the story would bring me to tears. But suffice to say that, that you have those stories as well, I'm certain. You have those stories, you have those obstacles that you have overcome. And I think that it takes talking about our stories, giving voice to our stories, that really empowers the next generation. So a very young woman marries a substantially older man, and they decide that they want to come to the States. It's any attorneys in the room? Many like our clients who come to us and decide that they would like to come to the United States. And immigration status issues aside, it takes forever to come here, correct? If you are trying to come to the U.S. and you don't have a legal way to do it, it takes a long time. So oftentimes you have individuals who cross the border. So we have these clients who come. So I'll tell you a quick story about a familiar story you may have, where you have parents with desperation, wanting a better life for their family. And then you have the inability to come to this country. So this young man and this woman with a couple of children decide that they're going to do the best that they can. And they're going to cross their children with papers and documents of children who had passed away so the children can come through. And the parents are going to go through their struggles to get through this country. And I recall this man telling me how difficult his journey was, how he suffered through the desert and nearly through dehydration and starvation. He remembered he had to make this journey because his children were waiting on the other side. And then he remembered his wife had a different kind of journey through a tourist visa, and he had to fight for his life to make it across so that his family could have a better future. And then he stopped and remembered what a devastating mistake he made by paying the coyote up in front and allowing his children to go. And days had passed. What incentive did this coyote have to return those children? Right? I am forever grateful
for that coyote who returned me to my father. To be able to stand and to become someone. That is such a difficult story for me to tell, but that's where I'm from. I have this insatiable hunger to succeed. It is like a Olympian torch that my parents have given me and said, you must continue to run. And it is on those shoulders that I stand on. It is with great motivation and zeal for life that I continue to fight the injustices. I'm an executive director of Legal Aid Society as well, fighting for those rights. Because if it weren't for those immigration anchor baby laws that existed at the time, we would not be legal. I would not be here today. I have advanced so much in my career, and I am not apologizing, but I'll go ahead and share because Maria's asked. I've been the president of almost every association I've ever been involved with. The president of the National Hispanic Bar Association. I served as a commissioner under Mayor Daley's administration. I am so proud to be of this community, to be a face to those most folks don't understand, right? As an immigrant, undocumented kid who was able to adjust status, to be able to say, you too can become someone. So there, Maria, I shared a little bit about my past, which I wasn't planning on doing, but for you, I will do. But what I really, really wanted to share with you is to bring together the themes, I love you, the themes of what is International Women's Day about, right? We just passed that. It was on the 8th. And if we're going to talk about women artists, I don't want to talk about myself. I want to talk about you, and I want to talk about why this day is so important. It's important because it brings women together. It's the fabric of our society. We are often those that unite. We hold our families together. We're the glue, we're the rock, we are the strength. No offense, men. We love you too. But if I could pick up on some themes, and we're going to talk a little bit, and I love history, so I'm going to go a little bit through the origin of the International Women's Day, if you don't mind. But we're going to tie in some beautiful themes, and I'll do my best job at doing that. So we're going to be the goddess of women. We're going to discuss where we are currently and what the challenge is for all of us today. We're going to reach back to move forward. Is that not right, Mary?
That's correct.
Because there is no way to know truly where you're headed if you don't know where you come from.
That's right.
So I accept fully where I'm from. And I make no apologies. And I full steam ahead, move forward with the acknowledgement that that is my past and the future is yet to be written.
That's right.
So ladies, does anyone have any clue how long the International Women's Day concept existed? No, it should be a whole lifetime, and it's a day. Can you believe it? We have a date. It's a date. It's March the 8th. It should be longer. So it goes back to 1908, and it really started with women working in really substandard conditions in New York in the garment industry, and they said enough's enough. We're going to boycott. We're not making any more clothes, and we're going to strike. It started the concept back then, and every year it continued to build on why it was so important to stand up for a woman's right, why it was so important to be a voice for those who didn't have a voice. So Jenny would like this. In 1917, against the backdrop of the war, the women in Russia decided they're going to protest for bread and peace. Right, Miss Jenny, with the bread?
She's in the washroom.
Oh, that's okay. We'll remind her of her beautiful use of the bread in her paintings. And in 1975, the United Nations decided, let's have an International Women's Day. Why? Because the issues in Chicago are relevant to the issues in Sweden for women. And if we don't advance globally together, our girls, our grandchildren are not going to be better off than we were. So if you can imagine 117 years ago, these women really standing united and trying to deal with difficult issues like suffrage, equal pay, equality, discrimination, that was continuing. And it wasn't until about 1995 that there was the Beijing Declaration that really was a roadmap, historically signed by 189 countries, to really focus on 12 critical areas that we're envisioning that every woman, and this is critical, where are my girls, where'd they go? Haley, are you still here? No? I know I have another group of girls back there. The names are Stephanie from Oak Forest High School. This is for you, baby. I want you to listen hard if there's anything that you remember. Okay. You here? I want to see your face. Okay. So in 1995, when were you born?
2000.
Okay. Wow. Wow. So you lived in a world when at least the Beijing Declaration existed, and what it said is that it envisioned a world where each woman and girl can exercise her choices. Are you able to do that? Check. Are you participating in politics? Question mark. We'll come back to that. Are you getting a good education? Check. Do you have an income? Not really. Are you living in a society free from violence? Are you living in a society free from discrimination? We got a lot of work still to do. Isn't that right? There was an interesting study conducted in 2011. The World Economic Forum stated that if we were to continue in the progress that we're currently in, when do you think that we would have parity, equality, especially in income for women and men? When do you think that might be? Take a guess. Long time. 20 more years. Anyone
I'd say
else?
another 50.
They said that at the rate that we're going, we would reach parity by 2095. I'll be dead. That's not acceptable. But guess what? That study was done again in 2015, and it predicted that at the rate we're going, did it get better or worse? Anyway, it got worse. How bad? It got real bad. They said at the rate that we're going, and perhaps because we were like, okay, in our lifetime, or okay, maybe in our children's lifetime, parity will be reached and we can become complacent. So that kind of happened, and the 2015 study said that we would not reach parity until 2133. That's 117 years from now. So not only would our children, our daughters, not be able to have and live in a world free of discrimination and violence and equal parity, their grandchildren aren't going to. So the International Women's Day is really about stopping and acknowledging, yeah, we've made great strides, and that a kid like me who's an immigrant from over there can be an attorney at the top of my field. That's not enough. It's about reaching back. It's about pulling the next generation, because at this rate, even our children's grandchildren are not going to be in a world that's free of violence, free of discrimination towards women, right? Inability to go to school, inability to marry whom they want, because we still have young ladies of which who are in children marriages, they're child wives, and that's unacceptable. So a crime in Africa towards a woman should be something we care about similarly like we do in Chicago. So if we're going to have parity in the world, we have to commit. So the International Women's Day is about committing, taking a pledge. It's called #PledgeForParity. And I'm going to take a big old selfie with this group, because what it asks you is to commit to that call to action, that you're going to do something to help us move forward in this movement. That it's not just about me, an individual, me as a painter. It's about what can I do to make a difference towards this parity. It could be, think about it, because I'm going to call on you in a little bit. Think about one thing you can commit to doing that will empower our hermanitas. Lisa, I'm looking at you. That will empower the next generation. Is it be brave like I was and share my story? Could it be, let me show someone how to paint? Let me show how this beautiful art of using bread to make that painting? Is it inviting someone that is unfamiliar with the community to be less afraid of where we are? So I want a show of hands of who is not from this community. Raise your hand. Thank you for coming to our community. We're not scary people, are we? So it is about whatever inspires you, whatever inspires you. And I took a list trying to quickly listen and readjust my remarks, whether it's low-income women or a cemetery, bread, flowers, gardens, Andy Warhol, a spring revival, mini furniture, whether it's Cabrini Green, Inglewood, South Chicago, Route 1, whatever it is that inspires you, you inspire me. And you and I know why. We all connect to each other. And if we don't share bravely a little bit about ourselves, whether it's through the voice, through the mic, through a song, or through a painting, we will be divided. And it's not about the one, it's about the we. It's about what we can do to move that pledge for parity to be sooner than my daughter's grandchildren are dead. Because frankly, I want my daughter, who's a beautiful girl, Abby Rose, who's 9, to live in a world that is free from violence, that she can get an education and become whoever she wants. So that when she looks at me, she knows, yes, women can be lawyers and dads can be chefs, and that's okay. Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Who has the Kleenex? Brina, thank you so much for sharing that. And it is a very common story in this area that you've risen so far above. Thank you so much for doing that. So now we have the merger of visual arts and legal arts. What can we do with that, right? Thank you so much.
What happened to the selfie?
Oh, I love the selfie. Thank you. Okay, so if we could, thank you for the reminder.
I want to also, that's Patty DeLeon right here. And this is Roman DeLeon, our director. Right here. Thank you so much, everybody.
Don't move. Okay, so we're going to kind of corner this way. Come on, Maria. And let's see. We're going to do the best. Len, you got to get in here.
Len, get over here.
Okay, it's going to be hard. We're going to do sections. Sections of selfies. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. One more over here.
Where you at, Lenny? Come over here, Lenny. There you go.
One more over here. Oh, this is a great one.
Great one. They're all in there. Cool.
One more over here. Do you mind?
No for a minute. I think you got my side.
My beautiful people here.
I don't know.
And I was remiss in not mentioning one thing. Sorry. It's like the Academy Awards. Not that I'm receiving one. But the reason why the arts are still in our school is because of Len Dominguez. So come on up here. Where'd he go? He's hiding. So he and I go back. Goodness, nearly 18 years ago when we worked at the Board of Ed together. And there was, back then, a very vocal fight at the Board of Ed where Len was fighting to keep the arts in the school program. And the then board president of CPS was saying, show me the data, show me the data, show me that education is improved through the arts. Back then, it wasn't understood. Now it's not even a question, but it's because of this man right here.
Well, quick story is that Mayor Daley took over the schools in '95. Gary Chico, Paul Valls, the whole team of auditors took the debt, and the huge debt, and made it whole again financially. So then we started looking at all the things that could be done. And I became chief of policy after having been deputy mayor for education with Mayor Daley's staff. So Gary Chico was board president, and he had a very public meeting with all the senior staff, about 40 people, at a big long table. And he says, and I said, you know, we should pass an arts policy because it's not mandated. The principals don't think they should need to do it because it's not in policy of the board that it should be done. It's in the state school code, but unless CPS passes a policy that's required, principals will say, I don't need to do this, there's no time, got to do And so I said, we should do this. He says, well, then we have to teach reading first. It's all about reading and math. I said, Gary, I said, we went out for this for half an hour. It got a little heated, and people looked at me like I was crazy. But luckily, Gary and I went back for years at the mayor's office, and we had this relationship where we could do this. So then finally he said, give me the data. And I made calls around the country, and I got information from all over, from Carnegie Mellon University, from Getty Museum, from everywhere you can think of. I had 2 feet stack of information about the efficacy of arts and education in terms of intelligence, in terms of performance, throughout the studies, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, Gary Chico wanted a 2-page memo. So I had to condense that into 2 pages with about a foot of addendums, and then we passed the policy. And the arts were mandated in the school. So that was my little white horse that I got out once in a while and said,
All right, everybody, let's enjoy it.
Let's enjoy the party. Okay, I'm a retired art teacher with the Chicago Board of Ed, and also a union delegate. So what he was talking about, the teachers union was beginning to pull a strike also on the integration of art into the public schools. When they started talking about, oh, we got to do reading, writing, and math, that's when art integrations began. Because if you're teaching an art class, you are going to automatically integrate math, reasoning, and all of that. So I want to shout out for the Chicago Teachers Union. Stick with your teachers.
Everybody, anyone who wants to say anything, you're welcome to say anything. Also, this setup here is actually for a jam night. We have it.
All right, everybody. All the band equipment is basically we're doing like an open jam session. We're trying to do once every month, every 2 months. Where we basically have a house band set up. They just play whatever, and anybody who wants to jump in with a guitar, bass, vocals, whatever they want, they just mix and match throughout the whole night. So that'll start tonight at 9 o'clock. So other than that, and then we're doing classes here, thanks to Sarah and Sky Arts. You know, they're facilitating the art program. So I believe Monday is our first session. So it'll be Monday, Saturday, we're doing comic book drawing, and then the following week, it'll be the other Monday and Saturday we're doing painting. So it's ages 7 and up. You know, for all the kids, they could just hit me up on the Facebook or just come in to pre-register if they want to pre-register to make sure they have a spot because there is limited spaces and it's actually been filling up pretty quick. So that's about it. Thanks.
Thank you, Roman.
He forgot to mention something. His acting career is going.
No, I've just been doing a lot of extra work and booking stuff like that.
Roman, don't be shy.
Been crazy busy doing that. But yeah, that's about it.
Empire. I still need my signature from Terrence Howard. And a date. First. There's a long line for that. Maybe you don't know. Put it in the donut. Put it in the donut.